My name is Bob George. I'm a retired engineer. I was once known as the king of bottle caps. So I'm sorry. I should shut this off. So.
No.
Hello. Bye-bye. My name is Bob George. I'm a retired engineer. I retired 13 years ago. I was once known as the king of bottle caps, and made one plant. I had 3 plants, and I had one in Pennsylvania made 32 million bottle caps a day, of which 60% of those were Anheuser-Busch. When I retired 13 years ago, my daughter gave me a book that was called The Art of the Lathe, and she thought it would be something that could keep me busy. And it was on segmented bowl making, and that's how I got started on making bowls. There are 2 different types of bowls that typically people make. One is segmented, and the other is just solid wood bowls that are made out of bowl blanks. And I elected to do these segmented bowls. So that's what's kept me busy for the last 13 years. This is a bowl blank which I've designed. It's called my dovetail design. And I'm going to now start turning the outside of this bowl. It's going to be rotating at about 1450 RPM. And I'm going to cut it with a tool. And this tool is called Bob's Magic Tool. It's a modified 1/2-inch round nose scraper, and I use this in all my turning process. Basically, this is what they call a steady rest. This will hold the tool in position, and then I'll guide it to create the tool. And turn the outside of this will not take very long, maybe 5-10 minutes at the most, depending on what I'm trying to create with it. So. I think that, one of the things in my lifetime that I always pondered was, did I want to be a teacher? I would have loved to have been a musician, but I didn't have that talent. I would have loved to have been a painter. I didn't have that talent. I now have, my artistic talent is making these pieces. And they're looked upon from an artistic standpoint rather than just another object. So that's what drove me into teaching. And to be honest with you, I have taught a tremendous number of students, of which many of them I say they could teach the teacher now. They're that good. So. And you can see it's already starting to take some shape. Why did I decide to teach blind people? And the key factor to that is my mother was blind. Now, here's the funny part of the story. My mother was blind. She had a glass eye, but she was also blind in the other eye. I didn't know that. I didn't know my mother was blind until I was 19 years old. She sewed, she cooked, she did everything a normal person did except get on a bus by herself. She didn't use a cane, she just did everything. So when the opportunity came to teach students woodworking and blind students, and most people shy away from that because they're concerned about these guys going to get hurt or this type of thing. I knew what the capabilities of a blind person already was. If they're dedicated, there's nothing they can't do.
Roger, come.
When I was working at Woodcraft, a lady came in with a 8 or 10 week old puppy, and it turned out it was a guide dog. The guide dogs are trained for a period of time. And she put up a brochure on the bulletin board at Woodcraft, and it had a little slip on it. You could pull it off, and it told you where to call and everything. So I said to the people at work, boy, I'd love to do this, but my wife is going to kill me. So that day I came home, and I mentioned it to Mary. I said, there was a guide dog in you, and I would like to do that. She said, well, did you get the information? I said, no. She said, well, go back and get it. 2 days later, she had made the contact with the Guide Dog Foundation. When you become a puppy walker, you understand the dog does not belong to you, and that you are going to have to give it up. And you know that that time frame is 12 to 14 months is what they typically tell you to start with. And you can say, I'm not going to become attached to this dog because I know it's going to give it. Now, with a personality like Roger has, you cannot not love this dog. So you have to accept the fact that you're going to go through a lot of time and effort with this dog, and he's going to go. But you try to put in perspective why you're doing this. And the biggest single reason for that is to help the blind. You good, Euro? Huh? Want some? Want some? Huh? Want some?